Robert Greene is the author of the book The 48 Laws of Power. Everyone who reads it returns home with a new perspective on life. It is said to is a book authored by the devil himself by certain folks. Some people think it's essential reading. Despite all of these viewpoints, the book presents clear realities that you might initially find difficult to embrace. But as you have more life experiences, you start to appreciate these realities more and more. In a moment, we shall examine 8 of the rules of power. But first, a disclaimer is necessary before we start the video. When it comes to attaining power, not all of the tactics in this book are compatible with artistic drive. Take what you are going to hear with a grain of salt, therefore. Having stated that, always keep in mind that being helpless is a dreadful sensation. Most guys live their lives in order to survive. Why? Because they are not in control. You might be familiar with the adage, you don't hold the cards. Simply put, this indicates that you have no influence on the other person, and that they will not listen to you or behave in accordance with your wishes. Imagine a teacher and a principal. The teacher has the upper hand in this situation because he has the power to compel the student to act in a specific manner or instill in them the dread of suspension or detention. You call this having power. Of course, you may misuse it or utilize it virtuously, just as with everything else. Knowing these rules of power is not intended to be used as a means of dominating people. Instead, to comprehend your own place in society and how to continually advance it. Some people will oppose you because you're striving to improve your circumstances. But everyone secretly prefers having more power than having less, which is where things take an intriguing turn. Knowing the rules of power alone won't assist you. What counts is how you use them. When seeking to obtain authority, people frequently do stupid errors. Instead, in order to get power, you must be stealthy, democratic, and cunning. As conceited as it may seem, you will improve as a person as you grow more adept at managing power. The majority of guys struggle in life because they are incapable of handling authority. As a result, their success is fleeting. Assume they receive a work advancement of some kind when you observe that. Their beliefs, outlook, and communication style abruptly deteriorate. Being endowed with power and losing it due to poor management is preferable than never having received it. With that said, let's take a look at 8 laws of power that have been created using the timeless wisdom of both ancient and modern cultures. Number 1. Make others depend on you. Politics will always be hated, people will always claim. But each of your relationships is founded on political ideals. This is particularly true when dealing with a supervisor or kids. To gain influence inside the company, people like to work in tandem with a powerful boss. However, the book's author contends that this strategy is flawed. Why? Because the powerful boss will just fire you and hire someone else if you make a mistake. Because of this, the book advises choosing a weak supervisor with whom to work and forcing them to depend on you. So much so that they are completely dependent on you. You'll achieve your goal of power in this manner, by putting others in a position of total reliance on you. In essence, you have the power to manage them any way you like. Furthermore, never provide enough knowledge to your employees so that they may succeed without you. Number 2. Always keep your reputation intact. Authority depends on reputation. You may frighten and prevail only on the strength of your reputation. Imagine there are 2 basketball players. One of them is a star player widely regarded as the best of all time. Only a rising talent. The other basketball player is now active. Regardless of his performance, let's assume the top player plays the new player and doesn't play as well. Still, 80% of individuals will assert that the great player performed better. Why? He is more well known than the new player since he has the legend card. It's the same in your day-to-day existence. Having a positive reputation among your coworkers can help you get stronger. Without expending much energy, it makes the most of your presence. However, if you damage your reputation, you'll be vulnerable to attack. Establish an untouchable reputation for yourself and keep an eye out for threats so you can head them off at the pass. It's crucial to establish oneself as an organized, dependable expert all at once, especially if you're just getting started with building your authority. Because one error might damage your reputation. For instance, if you drink too much and berate your employer for being disrespectful, you could look foolish on a single night out. Similarly, showing up unprepared or late to a crucial meeting might damage your reputation and worth. 3. Always conceal your motivations. It's rarely a good idea to reveal your true intentions. Because your goals conflict with their goals, others could disagree with your beliefs. It might occasionally lead to a serious altercation. But keep in mind that isolating yourself from society will never allow you to conceal your genuine objectives. Instead, talk more frequently about your objectives, but not the ones you intend to pursue. This is particularly true if you are among pessimistic people who constantly try to dash your hopes. Your opponents won't be able to recognize you since you come off as approachable and reliable. as the book's author describes it. Because individuals can only pay attention to one item at a time, mask your conduct. They are unable to discern that the individual they are engaging with is pursuing a different course of action. Hiding your intentions will help you win people over and mislead them. By the time they realize what you're doing, it will be too late. If you are quiet and unassuming, people are more inclined to trust you because they prefer the known. 4. Be human and show your shortcomings. Being seen as superior to others is dangerous. The most hazardous behavior is trying to be too flawless. Only those who have died in superhuman gods are faultless. More people will be interested in you the more you attempt to appear flawless. You wind up subjecting yourself to unwarranted performance expectations and pressure. In fact, this is the reason why employers will frequently ask you this question during a job interview. They'll inquire about your weak points. The best course of action is to acknowledge minor areas of weakness. As you develop authority, you'll come into the limelight. The need of being flawless also implies that you shouldn't take all the glory. Act in a way that will make your achievements seem feasible to your coworkers. Keep in mind that envy breeds haters and makes individuals hypocrites. So it's a good idea to confess your weaknesses and shortcomings. You must claim that your successes were the result of pure chance or portray them as the results of efforts that the other person may also do. People won't be envious of your success if you do this. Less enemies, more friends, that is the whole objective of power, is the only idea. 5. Don't make commitments to anyone. Don't align yourself with any cause or side. People will compete for your attention if you maintain your independence. The opposing parties might also be pitted against one another. You lose all power over someone if you let them feel like they have any kind of possession over you. On the contrary, if you don't express your sentiments, they will work even harder to win you over. Be remote to get the authority that comes with their unwavering attention and unmet demand. You don't have to frighten them off or prove your unwillingness to commit. Instead, draw people's attention by offering them the chance to own you. Keeping your distance from pointless things is one of the most important elements to attaining this. Observe others as they engage in conflict, foment a quarrel, and ultimately rise to power. In actuality, this strategy is frequently employed by the so-called elites of the globe. They always encourage the world to be sidetracked into fighting over pointless nonsense in order to further their objective, while advancing their true objective. What you refer to as order out of chaos is this. 6. Avoid surrounding oneself with depressed and unfortunate people. The unfortunate people are not victims as they would have you believe. They want to harm both themselves and other people, even if the other person doesn't intend to draw you along for the ride. Still infectious to you is their way of thinking and set of values. You are more likely to end up as collateral damage the more such persons you are exposed to. Never try to assist them, defend yourself, or engage in conflict with them. In this work, the author calls them infectors. As soon as you can, cut all links with them and depart. If you don't, you put yourself in grave danger of becoming caught up in their problems. Keep a nice group of friends instead who won't change you from the inside out. Allow their positive traits to rub off on you and improve your mood. 7. Never ask for pity or gratitude. It takes skill to ask for aid. Understanding the other person is necessary. Do not confuse your needs with theirs. Even the most well-known person has wants. They will ignore you or think you are a waste of time if you don't make an impression on them. Because of their problems, no one will listen to you when you ask for help or give you any assistance. The best way to get what you want from someone is to appreciate them. Think on what people desire, then grant their wishes. They will do everything you ask of them if you can provide it to them. Trying to instill feelings of guilt in them by bringing up the past is a tactic that is guaranteed to fail. Sometimes it's better to appeal to someone's charity than their greed. Decide who you are interacting with by doing so. You should appeal to their greed rather than their charity if they don't seem to care about others and just seem to care about themselves. And lastly, number 8, isolation is bad for you. Your ideas are more terrifying than you realize. Don't explore your thoughts on your own. If you've ever visited a developing nation where street dogs are common, you may have noticed a distinction between those canines and domestic dogs kept as pets. The dogs who are kept as pets and alone are frequently far more violent. The same applies to your ideas and deeds. Don't isolate yourself too much to the point that you can't bear hearing what others have to say. Instead, become used to seeing things from other people's perspectives. By the way, don't forget to offer the algorithm some love by clicking the subscribe button and like the video. Watch these videos to learn the next best method for improving your level as a guy.